sweeties. So I just finished watching episode 6 of 4 minutes, and wow, we need to talk. This episode is like one big mic drop after another. If you thought you had a handle on what's going on, trust me, you don't. Let's dive into this because things just got a whole lot messier. And I'm loving every second of it. Alright, so episode 6 really hits different when you start thinking about those timelines we talked about back in episodes 4 and 5. Like, it's actually blowing my mind how this episode pulls the rug out from under us and reveals that everything we've seen since episode 1 actually happened. Yeah, all of it. The hit and run, the murder, the betrayals, it all went down, and Great didn't stop a single thing. It's wild because up until now, I was low-key hoping that maybe Great would get some kind of redemption or that he'd somehow rewrite his story. But nah, the show really said, nope, not today. And this just confirms my theory from before. Remember when I said it felt like Great was stuck in his subconscious filled with regrets? I was on to something. The whole episode finally shows that Great's living those 4 minutes of cardiac arrest over and over, trying to fix his mistake. It's like he's in this weird limbo where he's replaying all the things he did wrong, trying to find a way out, a way to make things right. But can you really change the past if it's all in your head? The show doesn't let up on that question, and I'm waiting to see how it plays out. And don't even get me started on a Nora. All this time, we've been trying to figure out who this guy really is, and boom, it's Tonkla. I didn't see that coming at all, but looking back, it makes so much sense. The hints were all there in episode 4, and now everything clicks. The way Tonkla was always just on the edge, always a step ahead of everyone. Of course, he'd be a Norat. It feels like the writers have been planting these seeds all along, just waiting to hit us with that big reveal. When you piece all this together, episode 6 really feels like the show's way of saying, hey, everything you thought you knew, yeah, it's been happening right in front of you. It's like they're challenging us to go back and watch from the beginning with fresh eyes, knowing that Great's been in this loop of regrets all along. I mean, it makes the whole thing with Time and Great way more interesting too. Like, was their connection always doomed? Or is it just Great's guilty conscience playing tricks on him? Speaking of Great and Time, can we just talk about their chemistry for a second? It's electric. Like, remember when they first met? Time came in all mysterious, playing his game, trying to get close to Great for revenge. But even then, there was something more to it. Great was caught off guard, and Time, well, he knew exactly what he was doing. From that moment, you could feel the tension building. It was like watching two magnets drawn together even though they knew they probably shouldn't be. And the way Great actually fell for Time in real life, it's kind of beautiful in a messed up way. Time wasn't just another person in Great's world. He was the one who saw right through him, who pushed him to confront parts of himself he'd rather ignore. Even when Time leaked that sex tape, Great didn't just crumble. He leaned into it, joked about it, and kind of admired Time's audacity. You could see it. Great wanted something real. And maybe in those last moments, he's clinging to the idea that they could have been something had he let himself truly fall. But then there's the twist with Tonkla. Oh man, I did not see that coming. So Tonkla, who seemed like this side character lurking in the background, ends up being Unrat, the one who shoots Great. Talk about flipping the script. I'm still piecing together how we got here. Remember back in episode 4, there were all these hints about Unrat, this shadowy figure pulling strings behind the scenes, and now it turns out to be Tonkla, someone we never suspected could have such a huge role. It's like, was Tonkla just pretending to be harmless all along? Or did something push him over the edge? Now I'm wondering, why does Tonkla shoot Great in the end? Is it revenge, jealousy? Did he feel betrayed by Great's whole involvement with Time or his family's dirty dealings? Or maybe it's deeper than that. Maybe Tonkla saw Great as the symbol of everything wrong in his own life, and taking him down was his way of making peace with that. And then there's this theory I can't shake. That Tonkla somehow got his hands on that dashcam footage of Great Title and Dome, and it just pushed him to the brink. It's like he knew too much and decided to take matters into his own hands. And this is where it gets even crazier. If Tonkla is Honorat, it recontextualizes everything we've seen so far. Suddenly, all those moments with him lurking around the edges of scenes, watching and waiting, makes sense. He's been plotting this whole time, and we were too caught up in Great's drama to notice. It's almost like the writers have been giving us clues from the beginning, but we just weren't paying attention. And that's what makes episode 6 such a game changer. Now looking back, all those things we've seen, the murder, the hit and run, the betrayals, they all actually happened. Great didn't stop any of it. He's been replaying these moments, stuck in this loop of regret, trying to find a way to fix things. But in reality, nothing changes. It's a tough pill to swallow, but also kind of brilliant in how it makes us rethink the entire series. Like, maybe Great was never the hero of his own story. Maybe he's just a flawed guy trying to make sense of his own mistakes in those final 4 minutes of his life. And now I'm left wondering if all of this is just in Great's subconscious. Does he even have a chance at redemption, or is he just going to be stuck in this cycle forever, reliving his regrets over and over again? And what about Tonkla? Does his shooting Great symbolize the end, or is it just another part of this never-ending nightmare? Episode 6 is just throwing so many questions at us, and I'm sure we're going to get some answers soon. So yeah, episode 6 really shakes things up, and it feels like we're standing on shaky ground with everything we thought we knew. Great stuck in this space of regrets. Time's role is more complicated than ever, and now Tonkla is revealed as this unexpected player in the game. It's all a mess, but it's a mess that's making us question everything from the start. I'm both frustrated and intrigued, dying to know if Great can ever break free from this endless loop, or if this is just his fate to live out these regrets forever. Whatever happens next, I'll be tuning in, just trying to make sense of it all like the rest of us. So buckle up, sweeties. We're in for a wild ride.